Hello everyone, so welcome to card number 1 for my 2015 card series. So starting off, I'm using this Wild Rose Studio stamp and she's just so adorable. I will have her linked in the description box below. Next, I'm going to stamp her off using Memento Tuxedo Black ink on some Copic quality cardstock, and then I'm going to start filling her in with my Copics. So the colors I chose for her were R29, R39, and R89. And though they are not on the same colors that are close together in line, I love these combos for doing Christmas. I just think that they're so warm and rich and I just love it. So I'm doing my base coat in the R29 and then I'm going to come in and start filling it in where it'd be in the darker spots. And also for her jacket, I really wanted to give her more dimensions and make it look like the fabric was moving. So I really started to exaggerate these lines on her jacket just to give her the more movement. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. So this did take a while to film. It was about 45 minutes, so I did speed it up for you and I did condense it a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and put on some Christmas music because I did want to show you the complete process of me coloring and it would just be a lot for the voiceover. So yeah, I will get back to you as soon as I'm done with the coloring process. Now I wanted to do the green colors, and I have quite a bit of green because there is quite a bit of the holly and leaves in here. So I'm coloring those in using G14 and G29 because they are such small areas. You really don't need too many colors. So a light and a dark just to give you the good contrast with coloring is all I used. And I'm just doing a light blending with those two colors together. So I do the light, I go to my dark, and then I just blend it back out with the light again. I don't know how many of you caught this, but this is the first time that I think that I've actually colored the skin not first. That's usually the typical for me, but this time I did reverse it and I don't know why. So for my skin colors, they're pretty much all basically the same. It's the E00, E11, E13, and R20. Now I'm going to do her, like the white parts, the fluffy parts of her hat and on her dress. And I'm using warm colors for these, so I use the W0, W1, W3, and for my darkest parts I use W4. And I'm going to also use that on the buttons of her dress. Since the background was so stark and white, I went ahead and I even pulled some of these W's into the background so that it would be a softer tone to look at. I also use my lighter colors to start blending those W's out and really pull it out so that way you're not using too much of the dark tones and it really gives it that soft effect. Next, I'm taking E23, E31, and E33, and I'm going to color my birdhouse, my birds, her hair, and her boots in her basket with these colors. I try to use as least of my Copics as possible, and so I'm starting with the lightest, and I'm going to use that as my base, and then I'm going to come in with my medium and then my darkest, and then I'm going to start blending those back out. And I'm taking my jelly rolls. I have two of them. I have the one that has the glitter, and then I have the one that is the white. And I'm just filling in random spots with the glitter one first. And then I decide, I need to add a little bit more. So I come in with my white one, and I start adding that to like her hat and her dress. So it really gives the effect that snow is falling across everywhere. And I just love the way that this came out. It was just so gorgeous. So here I'm showing you what it looks like when the light reflects off of it. It's just so shiny and sparkly, and I love it. It does give you a ballpoint, so it does give you a little bit more control over where it goes. Next, I'm taking my favorite things dies, and I'm taking the second from the largest, and I'm going to place this over my image right where I want to cut it, just making sure that I line it up. Now I'm going to take some of this washi tape, and this was gifted to me from Crafty Paws, who is Christina here on YouTube. And I do not have the magnetic plate, so this is the alternative for that. So now I'm just going to run this through the die cutting machine twice, just to make sure that I get a nice good cut all the way through. And it does cut out perfectly. I'm also going to take the craft cardstock, and I'm going to use the next size up in the die, and I'm going to cut this out, and I'm just also going to make sure that I get rid of the excess paper just because it's wasteful. So I just cut it out and I run it through my die cutting machine. But this time it cracks me up because for some reason I decided to open up my die cutting machine on top of a mat. Yeah, that's never a good idea. So if you can see there, it does wiggle around, and I got a little bit of a chuckle out of this because I was like, what was I doing? I should just move the mat, but I didn't. If you can see on the screen, there's actually an image from one of last year's card. I recreated the card this year, and yeah, see, perfect cut every single time. Now I'm taking my Martha Stewart scoreboard, and I'm just making an A2 size card. So I took this cardstock from last year. I absolutely loved it. It was called Noel. I believe it's from American Crafts, and it worked perfectly with what I wanted. So I just cut that down to size, and it was pretty funny because I already did this card, and when I went to go and adhere down, for some reason it just didn't work out well. So I'm just placing it down again, and the bow was a velvet bow and would not cooperate at all. Like, I was having so many difficulties with this card, and it's such a basic card. So I did that off camera. Next, I'm taking a Friskers. These were available a couple years ago at Joanns as a holiday stamp set, and I'm using Stampin' Up! Real Red, and I'm stamping that out, and I'm placing it now inside of the card, and I just make sure I line it up, And that's my card. It's more simplified and easy. Thanks everyone for watching this card, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.